Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Janelle here from JanelleEmma.com. Today I want to talk to you about products, and if it's something for you that feels really like you're hunting people, or that it's pressure, or that you really feel uncomfortable when you're talking to people about your products. We all know that we love our products. We want to be a product of our products, and we want to be using them on a daily basis, so we have that that backup and that posture for when we are promoting our products. But a lot of us still have that scarcity behind it, and that feeling like it's a lot of pressure when we're talking to people, thinking that we have to promote our products to them straight away, or feeling like we want to try and talk to them about our products, but we seem to do it in a really uncomfortable way that makes them feel uncomfortable as well. So I want to have a talk to you today about that, about what you can do, in promoting your products to other people, or even, with your friends and family especially, how you can really promote your products to them without offending them, without feeling like it's pressure, and without that scarcity behind it, which makes you look really uncomfortable doing so. So the first thing, if you're someone who has amazing products in skincare or in weight loss, or even in travel, that sort of thing, makeup, you obviously have a passion for that. That's why you're doing it, and you obviously are a product of the product as well. We want to make sure we are a product of the product. Otherwise, it's very hard to sell our products and promote them to people if we aren't a product of the product. So you want to make sure that you are doing that, but you actually feel quite scared to do so. Now, the best way to get around that is to tell stories, testimonials. And this is what has helped me massively in building my business, and in having the amount of customers that I have, is purely by telling stories. We know that facts tell, but stories sell. Stories are our biggest asset. They are what people believe in the most, and people will understand the most and relate to the most, those stories. So if you're talking to people and they've got a really powerful story, say they're in your company and they have a really powerful story, you can use their story as well. It doesn't have to be your own story. It's not as good as their story. It doesn't have to be your own story that you're telling to someone. But if you're out there and you're approaching someone and you're talking to them about how their day's been, you're doing normal chit chat with them, they're a friend of yours, and maybe you feel that you want to approach them about, say, your weight loss regime or something, but you don't want to do that in a way that's going to offend them. You don't want to be someone who's there saying, hey, I think you should try my weight loss products because I can see you've put on a bit of weight. That's not going to work in any way, shape or form. I would hope, as decent humans, you aren't going up to people and saying that sort of stuff. So we need to look at how else we can approach them about our products, especially if it was something like weight loss. So how do we do that? It's definitely testimonials, definitely stories. And you can be saying something like, last time we spoke, you were on that certain diet or that eating plan. How is that going for you? And then if they sort of say, oh, well, I've dropped off from that, it didn't really work for me, I found it really hard, or something like that, you can then step in and say, well, I actually now promote an amazing weight loss regime that I'd love to share with you. Would you be open to looking at it? That's just a way in, for an example, with the weight loss industry. Now, if it's something to do with their skin, you don't want to say, hey, I want to show you my skincare line because I can see you've got a few blemishes and your skin's looking really bad at the moment. Obviously, that's the wrong way to go about it again. So we need to look at a way that we can go in that. So sharing personal testimonials, they may even bring up in conversation with you that they're having trouble with their skin. You may ask them, how's things lately? How's the kids? How's health? That sort of stuff. If it is a friend or family, you can ask those sorts of questions. And if it's someone that you don't know, you can lead into those questions. The more you connect with people on that personal level, the more they will know, like, and trust you and want to tell you more of their problems and pains as well. So if you can start to get to that point where they're telling you those sorts of things, you can then lead in with your products. But this is what takes the pressure off, and it will take the scarcity out of trying to promote your products. Don't think that you've just got to be out there and telling people, hey, these are my products, come and have a look at them. It's not going to work if you're someone who's not very salesy. If you're someone who's quite the opposite to someone who finds sales very easy, then it's much better to just share those testimonials and those stories and your own personal story. So if one of your products, you may have a range of products, but if one of them you have a really in-depth personal story about, have that somewhere, you know, even share that on social media without saying the name of the product or the company. Share that in, you know, a personal message with someone if they're talking to you about something that is related to that product, and you say, well, I actually have my own story which I'd love to share with you. Can we get on a Zoom or on a phone call or something like that, and share it with them that way. But by doing that, that's where that connection happens. That's where the magic starts to come in, because you're sharing that testimonial. So, you know, that's where I think it helps to take that pressure off, and it makes us feel far less pressured to want to promote our products and want to sell our products. Now, I know myself, I'm definitely not a salesperson. I never have been. I never thought that I would get into something like this, because it is, you know, you are selling to people. But the more that I go along in my business and make sure that I do it with, you know, integrity, and more about sharing the stories and about sharing testimonials and, you know, things like that, then that's your biggest asset. You know, the more stories you can have around your products that you know of other people in your business, it's going to be your biggest asset. If you can keep that in your head, or you write it down somewhere, you know, and you have, you know, you've recorded that somewhere, or you've even recorded someone on a video telling the testimonial, and you save that somewhere, you can then share that with other people. It's so powerful and far more relatable to people than trying to just sell. So I find that this is very effective in our business, in home business, in network marketing, being an entrepreneur in any way. You know, your products don't have to be a physical product in your hand. They could be, you know, some sort of a course that you've created, or some sort of a webinar, a paid webinar that you've done. That's still a product of yours, you know, and by finding out people's pains, finding out a lot of questions that you've asked, and finding out the answers to that, that's then always going to lead into how you can share a testimonial with them, or how you can share some sort of a story with them, you know, a success story. That's really going to resonate with that person far more than you trying to have that pressure and that standoff approach with the sales approach. People can feel when you have, you know, scarcity behind what you're saying, or your posture's not as high, because you feel like, oh my God, I don't want to sell to this person, but I really want them to try my product because of their issue, you know. So if you can just share a testimonial, you know, you say to them, based on what you've just told me about your issue, here's a testimonial that I want to share with you that's actually related to that, or that would really resonate with you in the same sort of way because of that same issue. And make sure you're getting those testimonials from your business partners, or people in your upline and your downline and that sort of stuff, and have them recorded somewhere. Write them out somewhere, or have them on a video, or just make sure you've got them somewhere. Even if you've got a website like myself, JanelleEmma.com, you can see on there I have a few testimonials. Some of them are business testimonials. I have my own health testimonial on there, and I can send people over to there. You know, if they're looking around on my website and looking at my About Me page and seeing who I am, I can then say, head over to my testimonial page and have a look at that as well. And that can be really powerful, you know, because it's taking that pressure off. It's taking the scarcity out. You don't have to lose your posture. You're taking your ego out of it, basically. You know, you're taking yourself out of the picture and realizing that you're doing this for their benefits, not yours. The more you can see other people's benefits, the more you want to help other people and put them in the situation first and take yourself out of the equation, the more that you'll get things back to you, the more that you'll get finances and money back to you, the more that you'll have people reaching out to you because they can see that you genuinely want to help other people, not just do this for your own benefit. So bringing this up in conversation is far better. You know, we don't want to offend people in what we're saying. We don't want to make it feel like we are purely just trying to, you know, promote our products to them, especially if it's weight loss or skincare or something. You don't want to offend them if you feel that they need it, but you don't want to say that in a way that's going to offend them. So, you know, make sure that you have those testimonials. Make sure your own testimonial is very powerful. If it's not, find one in your company that is very powerful for whoever you're talking to about whatever product it is that you want to let them know about. And another great way is obviously to approach them with an open-ended question. So this comes back to asking a lot of questions. But if you say to them, like I said before, you know, how's that weight regime you've been on for the last 6 months that when we last spoke, you were telling me about? How's that going? That's an open-ended question. They then might say to you, well, I actually don't like that weight loss program anymore. It didn't work for me, or there were things in the products that I, you know, reacted to my body or something like that, you know, and that's a way in. That's when you can say, you know, I'm sorry to hear that, but I really feel that I have something that may be of benefit to you. Would you be open to looking at it? You know, and that's another way into the situation. Asking a lot of questions is our, you know, biggest asset on top of our testimonials. We have to ask questions. We have to make them understand and feel that we genuinely want to know about them, that we genuinely want to listen to what it is that they're saying. So we know questions are powerful, and they will always lead into you offering your product if you do it right. You've just got to, it's a lot of practice. It takes practice. And the more comfortable you feel, the more comfortable they will feel, because they sense that. And then they, you know, if you've got that posture, they're going to be like, wow, maybe I should be listening to what she's saying, because what she just said sounded really powerful. That testimonial was amazing. Or, you know, I want to get on that webinar in the next 2 days about that, you know, the testimonial webinar, because it sounds like it's something that would really relate to me, you know, and this is the type of stuff that people will come back to you with. It's the type of thing that will take the pressure off you and take the scarcity out of what you're doing. You know, I feel that as well. And this is why I understand and use testimonials in the biggest way that I can. This is why when we do our presentations for our team, we have people stand up and tell their testimonials at the start or the end of the presentation, because that's the biggest impact. We can talk to them as much as we want about the products and about the company and about the business side, but that's not what's going to hit their heart. That's not what's going to resonate with them the most. The testimonials and the stories are. So your own personal story that you tell, your own testimonial that you tell, and other people, you know, that you get up in front of the room, or that you share on a webinar, or that you have them on the phone as a third party, will be what, you know, what sells the product, will be what hits the person in the heart. And resonates with them the most. So I hope this was of value to you. Please like or share this if it was of value to you. Please subscribe to my videos if you are seeing value in these, because I now do, you know, themed videos. So this week's all about products. Last week was all about, you know, time management and that sort of stuff. And, you know, I'm just going to start to do themes through the weeks, rather than just learning something different every single day. You know, I think I like doing the theme weeks a bit more, because it's more congruent with each other within that week. So I hope that was of value to you, and I'll see you all on the next video. See ya.